here are all the supplies that you'll need to make your very own fireball. I'd like to start off by giving a thank you to Bandersnatch Studios for their fireball prop tutorial. And truly, if not for that tutorial, I never would have been able to get started. So be sure to go and give them a look. The first thing that you're going to need to make your fireball are what are called acetate sheets, but I found these on Amazon listed as gel light filters, transparent color lighting gel filter plastic sheets. I got a pack of 16 of them that came in 8 different colors for about $12. Next, you'll need something to use as a light source. While the original tutorial recommended a push light, I went to Five Below and found this great light that comes with a remote control. That not only can you get a nice bright white light, you can also change it to all sorts of different colors. This is very helpful if you want to make a fireball or an ice ball or a purple ball of energy, something that's not your standard white. It does also have white in 2 different versions. And it's battery operated. To cut the plastic sheets, I used a set of wire snips that I had in my garage. Again, this is something to be very careful with because these are heavy duty. You definitely don't want to lose a finger in pursuit of cosplay. To shape the plastic, I used a heat gun. I've had my heat gun for many years, so I'm not sure where I got it from originally, but it has a switch with 2 different powers. Because we're going to be working with heated plastic, which gets quite toasty, I recommend using a set of gloves. I wanted my fireball shapes to be more rounded at the bottom. Instead of a big blast of fire, I wanted a more precise controlled ball look. So what I'm using is what's called an anvil that my husband made years ago for foam work. It's a couple pieces of wood and a plastic dome on top that I'm using to get that rounded ball shape. I also use a sanding block to sand the light surface and to get the logo off of the light. What I did is I went over all the surfaces that were shiny and I dulled them out a bit so the glue will stick a bit better. My own addition to the tutorial is tulle. This is fabric, it's very thin, very lightweight, rather see-through. It's usually used to make things like tutus and puffy skirts, but I found that it does a really good job of dispersing the light inside your fireball to give the lighted effect to go throughout the flame. And finally, we'll be putting the whole thing together with hot glue. The first thing you'll want to do is to grab one of your plastic sheets, preferably in a fire color, and we're going to use our wire snips to cut out a wavy looking triangle shape out of the plastic. Be very careful as these are very heavy duty. You don't have to be perfect on this because we're going to be adjusting it with heat anyway. Now that we've got our triangle piece, we'll need to peel the plastic backing off of both the front and the back. It sort of reminds me of a fruit roll-up. There we go. We have a nice translucent piece of orange triangle. Now we need to get a shape on this. And I want my fireballs to curve around on the sides, not like a big blast of fire, but as a more controlled ball. So I move my anvil, and I put on my gardening gloves. Put this in place and heat it up with the heat gun. Again, be very careful because this is a heat tool. You're going to keep that until it starts to get floppy. And then smooth it over the ball and hold it until it cools. I'm going to move up, get a little bit more of a rounded shape. I've got a nice curved shape, and we want to add the wavy texture to the fire. So now we're going to lay this flat. Now you'll see we have a very nice rounded flame shape. So now you see we have 8 pieces of flame-colored plastic, and they all have this nice rounded curve on the sides. So now we're going to use our hot glue gun. We're going to attach the flames to the light. And as always, you want to be very careful when working with hot glue. I recommend that you get yourself a tray to put your hot glue gun on when you're not working on it. This was from a frozen dinner. Works really well because it has this lip on the edge. So you can put this part right through and keep it from tipping over. So I'm going to take my piece here and add some glue. I'm going to attach that to my light and hold it in place until the glue cools. And if you don't like the shape that the flame is making at the top, we can always adjust that later with our heat gun. And as a reminder that hot glue is very hot. So if you need to wear protection for your hands, definitely do that. Otherwise, just be careful you don't burn yourself. You can see we've got a nice little fireball shape. Now we could keep it here with the red, but I'm going to add the orange around it so that it gives it a more dynamic fire look. So now I have my fireball all done. And you can see we cover up all the different areas that were white. We've got 2 different colors of flame in there. And when I turn on the light, red light in it. I think that looks pretty good, but I don't like how you can still see the housing of the light in there, and I feel like it could throw the light better. So we're going to add some tulle. So I have about here 12 inches of tulle with the full width. And I'm just going to bundle that up and put that inside my fire. So you see what that really does, it diffuses the light a little bit and it covers up the housing of the plastic light inside, makes it look a little bit more natural. Since there were still some places where you could see gaps in between the red, I went back and added some additional flames here to cover those up. So here is the finished fireball shape. I added a few more orange pieces and I did a little bit more shaping so it would have this nice round ball and then taper up, and I twisted a few of these longer pieces too to give more of a flame look.